Imagine a scenario where the military is deployed on American streets to quell unrest. Sounds like something out of a dystopian movie, right? The possibility of invoking the Insurrection Act to make that happen is a real and present consideration within the White House, according to recent statements. J.D. Vance confirmed that the Trump administration is actively looking at all of its options, including this controversial measure, in response to what they perceive as escalating crime in major cities. But here's where it gets controversial. The Insurrection Act, originally signed in 1807, grants the president the authority to deploy the military domestically in cases of insurrection, rebellion, or when violence obstructs the enforcement of federal laws. Think back to the Civil Rights era. This act was invoked during clashes over desegregation. It's a power that has been used sparingly since, with the last instance being in 1992, when then-Governor of California requested federal military aid from President George H.W. Bush to manage civil unrest in Los Angeles. Vance stated on NBC's Meet the Press that President Trump hasn't found it necessary to invoke the Insurrection Act so far. He emphasized that it remains a potential tactic because the administration faces legal roadblocks when trying to deploy federalized National Guard forces in cities with Democratic leadership. Federal courts have already intervened, blocking troop deployments in states like Oregon and Illinois. One federal judge even stated she had seen no credible evidence that there is a danger of a rebellion in the state of Illinois. When preventing the deployment of National Guard personnel in Chicago, why is this happening? Vance argues that cities like Chicago have become havens of lawlessness and gangs, with murder rates comparable to the worst places in the Third World. He claims people are afraid to let their children outside due to gun violence and gang activity. And this is the part most people miss. Statistics paint a different picture. Violent crime in major American cities, including Chicago, has actually been decreasing in recent years. Interestingly, the cities with the highest murder rates are predominantly located in states controlled by Republicans. Adding fuel to the fire, tension between the Trump administration and Democratic states is palpable. During an interview on ABC News, Vance was repeatedly questioned about whether Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker had committed a crime serious enough to warrant prosecution by the Department of Justice, a fate that has recently befallen some of Trump's perceived political enemies. Vance skirted the question initially, but ultimately stated that the governor should suffer consequences, and that he certainly violated his oath of office, and that seems pretty criminal to me. Pritzker responded fiercely, accusing Vance of spreading a tidal wave of lies and vowing not to be intimidated by threats of prosecution. This all unfolds as the federal government shutdown continues, with Republicans and Democrats trading blame. House Speaker Mike Johnson claims Democrats orchestrated the shutdown to appease their Marxist base, while House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries insists Democrats are willing to negotiate to reopen the government and address critical issues like healthcare. But what does this all mean for the future? Is invoking the Insurrection Act a legitimate response to urban crime? Or is it an overreach of presidential power? Could the threat of federal intervention further erode trust between the federal government and local communities? And perhaps most importantly, are the statistics being accurately portrayed, or is there a deliberate attempt to manipulate public perception for political gain? Let me know what you think in the comments below.